ladies and gentlemen, we are here, I think. Um, okay, yeah, it looks like we're good. So, hello, ladies and gentlemen, we are here to finish off yesterday's quest. And, hi, Jude. I didn't see you there. Huh. Okay, so we're here. We're just going to finish off our Lord of the Inferno. And it looks like next up we're going to be having quests regarding to our grand companies, which is not the same as our other companies that we have here. They're, see, Final Fantasy calls guilds, what's it call them? Free companies. It calls them free companies. So you got grand companies and free companies. Free company is your guilds, and grand company is kind of like more like a fraction, like a reputation. Yeah, a reputation. So, yeah. So, yeah, let's just go around and go on into it, and here we go. We have Scotian of the Seventh Dawn. They say, "Ah, the triumphant hero returns." Thancred told us the news upon his arrival. He is presently in the Solar, giving a full report to Lady Manphilia. You should join them at once. Lady Manphilia is most eager to see you. Alright. Okay. Thancred. So, I enter, and a cutscene ensues, and Thancred is saying, "My late arrival nearly cost Nyra her life. I wasn't there when the Imaja took her prisoner, and I wasn't there when they served her to Ifrit. Yes, by some miracle she survived, but that does not excuse the fact that she should never have had to face such dangers alone. I failed her utterly. Just as I'm failing you all." Manphilia says, "What's done is done, Thancred. You can ill blame yourself for every..." And I walk in. Manphilia says, "Nyra, it is so good to see you again." Thancred goes, "Impeccable timing, my friend. I have just finished regaling Manphilia with your heroic exploits." Manphilia goes, "Thancred has told me everything. You have done well to return to us." Thancred goes, The perils you faced were undeniably great, yet a part of me believes that I had no cause to fear, and now we can put paid to our long investigation." That is a weird sentence, Thancred. Okay. "As we suspected, the Imelja undertook both the robbery and the abductions with the aim of summoning their primal Ifrit." Manphilia says, "Nor is the tale limited to Ada. Similar indications have been rife in both Lamensa, and Gradonia of late." Thancred goes, "I dare say you've been curious as to how these crimes are linked to the primals. Permit me to explain. Having manifested in the physical realm, primals must consume aether if they are to maintain their presence here. And the stronger they become, the more aether they require. Now, aether exists throughout creation. It flows through all life and permeates the very air that we breathe. Alas, This alone will not suffice to sustain the likes of Ifrit. Nay, he and his kind require a more concentrated sort of aether, crystals. Nymphilia says, it is for this reason that incidents involving crystals can often be linked back to a primal. Tancred goes, which leaves us with the why of the abductions. To understand this, you must first understand how primals are born. When all is well with the world, primals possess no physical form. Their essence is dispersed across the great river of ether. Nymphilia says, however, when the world is plunged into chaos, those who worship the primals cry out for their gods for deliverance from suffering. These cries serve as a beacon towards which a primal's essence is irresistibly drawn. It is this coming together or etheric coalescence which grants the being's physical form. Once born, a primal gains strength from its followers' worship. The more numerous and fervent they are, the more powerful their god becomes. Tancred says, but the primals are seldom satisfied with such reverence as their adherents freely give, and in order to gain more power, they do not scruple to create followers. They do this by tempering mortals, a process to which you yourself were subjected. Nymphilia says, yet even as Ifrit took your comrades in his thrall, you alone remained unaffected. This is thanks to the power you possess, the echo. We know not the why of it, but those blessed with the echo are immune to primal influence. It is as though a greater power protects us. When first you came to us, I told you that the echo would be instrumental in dealing with the primal threat. I trust you now begin to see why. Tancred says, the recent incidents all share a common trait: meticulous planning. Such elaborate designs are a new development, and one which fills me with an unshakable sense of foreboding. Ooh, sorry, my foot hurts. Nymphilia says, while I share your concern, my presiding feeling is one of relief at your safe return. Ah, the immortal flames assured me that they will deal with the aftermath, so you need not concern yourself with that. We may rest easy for a time. I suggest you take full advantage of the respite, Nyra. You may be sure it won't last long. Once the people learn the identity of the hero who felled Ifrit, I fear you will have nay a moment to yourself. Tancred says, whether she intended to or no, Nymphilia neglected to tell you something. Something I think it would be best you heard from one of us. It concerns the tempered abductees that were rescued. I'm sorry to report that all are to be put to death, the flames with whom you were imprisoned included. Needless to say, this information must not be made known to the public. I swear to you that we would not do this if there were any other recourse. But once a man is tempered, he is tempered for life. His very existence lends strength to the primal whom he cannot choose but worship. So we as Scotians continue, I fright, that no more innocents need be sacrificed. I hope that you will continue to stand with us, Nyra. But I should be going. I must offer my apologies to the Flame General for the losses of his people suffered. Till next time. The anchor starts walking off and this stops. And it says, Gods forgive me, how many more lives? Luke's Qua would never have allowed this to happen. I have to do better. I have to be stronger. And he continues walking away. Quest turning, and I'm 23. Yay! I'm so sorry about the snuffles. I am trying not to, but they're just so bad. Alright, Minfilia. A hero in the making. Minfilia is wearing a weary smile. Might it have something to do with your newfound fame? Minfilia says, until not so very long ago, you were but one of the many adventurers seeking to make their way in Erosia. But for your character and courage, you were raised to the esteemed post of envoy. Thereafter, you traveled the realm, aiding those in need without thought of reward, confirming to Thancred and that the Scotians would benefit from your aid. And no sooner had you joined us than you personally bested the primal Ifrit. You have achieved a great deal in a short time, and won fame in doing so. Alas, fame does not come without a price, as you will soon discover. We have guests, Nyra, or rather, you have guests. Three strangers walk in wearing 3 different uniforms. Flame officer says, Ah, Lady Minfilia, radiant as always. Serpent officer says, I am given to understand that the Scotians of the 7th Dawn have but recently welcomed a new hero into their midst. Storm officer says, I am here on behalf of the Maelstrom, Grand Company of Lemensa to offer said hero a place of honor among our ranks. Minfilia shrugs. Minfilia says, as you can see, Nyra, your recent exploits have garnered you the attentions of the Grand Companies of Erosia. Each organization would have Ifrit's bane for its own. To this end, all 3 have sent offers to court you. They would not ordinarily go through such lengths to enlist a new recruit. That they have is evidence of their high regard for you. I find myself wondering how word of Nyra's deeds spread so quickly. That the immortal flames should know of her triumph is to be expected, but what of the other grand companies? Minfilia says this while looking at Totoro. Totoro goes, Eep! Servant officer says, your reputation precedes you, Mistress Wulfenshade. 'Tis no ordinary woman who can face the primal and emerge the victor. The Order of the Twin Adder has need of a valiant woman such as you. Join our strength join your strength to ours, friend, and together let us ensure that peace ever reigns over the Twelveswood. Flame Officer says, "What a pleasure it is to finally meet you, Mistress Wulfenshade. My comrades speak of you in the most glowing terms. Why, even before you aided us against the Amalja and their dread primal, yours was already a respected name in Uda. Our people know you and love you well. A woman of your talent belongs with the immortal flames. Join your strength to ours, friend, and together let us secure a prosperous future for Uda." Storm Officer says, "The Admiral was not exaggerating when she said you have the look of a hero. Full often does she speak of you, friend. It is only natural that we should want you for the Maelstrom. Join your strength to ours, and together let us see the guard vessel of Lamensa to the shores of glory." The look on my face. Grand Company officers say, "Lady Manfilia," and salute. Manfilia goes, "Very well." Manfilia continues, "Though I am quite sure you need no reminding, mayhap a brief summary of the situation would help to clarify your thoughts on this matter. As you know, the Grand Companies are an all-encompassing organizations empowered to call upon the material, economic, and technological resources of their respective city-states in times of strife. There are presently 3 such organizations in Erosia: the Maelstrom of Lamensa, the Order of the Twin Adder of Gradonia, and the Immortal Flames of Uda. Serving a Grand Company means serving the nation to which it belongs. You will be charged with its defense and tasked with advancing its cause. In return for your faithful service, you will be furnished with various rewards, some of which may well prove useful to you in your other endeavors. If you are agonizing over which of the Grand Companies best serves your loyalty, be at ease. The commitment you make this day need not be permanent. Should you wish to shift your alliance at a later date, you are entitled to do so, and yet I concede that it is no small choice you face." A thought occurs to me. You will, of course, recall that the 3 city-states are planning to hold a remembrance services. Well, as part of the proceedings, I am given to understand that the leader of each Grand Company will deliver an address. Hearing these addresses ought to help you make an informed decision. What say you, my dear officers? Servant Officer says, "A fine suggestion." Flame Officer goes, you are as wise as you are beautiful, my lady." Storm Officer says, "Very well, let Nyra hear our leaders speak, then return here with her decision." Grand Company officers together, "We eagerly await your answer." And they salute. Nymphilia says, I know full well that adventurers are by their nature a liberty-loving breed and not best suited to the discipline of military service, but I strongly urge you to join a grand company nonetheless. While the promise of reward is enticing in itself, it is not the only benefit. You are possessed of great power, Nyra, and with it you are capable of doing untold good. Yet know that great power is wont to attract attention, not all of it friendly. There will be those who wish you ill, and you must needs be on the lookout for them. Yet, however vigilant you are but one woman. In the midst of a grand company, however, you will be one woman amongst many, a friend amongst friends. Your achievements will be shared, and so will the danger. I can think of no better arrangement. Of course, joining one organization need not mean leaving another. I hope that you can continue. I hope that we can continue to rely upon your aid. The 12 know that we will have need of it in the days ahead. The grand companies seek to protect their own nations. We Scotians, on the other hand, seek to preserve the future of Erosia as a whole. Similar, yet not quite the same. Now then, I expect that you will be afield more often in the future. As such, I would have you carry this link pearl with you at all times. It will allow us to stay in touch regardless of location. Erosia is changing, Nyra, and you have the power to help shape it anew. None can say what the morrow will bring, but so long as we believe in ourselves, there is naught we cannot achieve. Now, it is time you made ready for your journey. Before you depart, be sure to speak with Tataru. She will appraise you as to where and when the remembrance services are due to take place. Okay, give me one moment. My nose is like completely nuts right now. So just 1 minute. Ooh, sorry about that. Okay, hopefully that's all better now. Alright, we need to go speak to Tataru. Alright. Loading. Here we go. Alright, back to Vesper Bailey and to talk to Tataru. Hello, Tataru. Tataru says, I'm sorry about the attention you're getting, Nyra. I might have sung your praises a little too loudly, and often to a few too many people. Next time, I'll be sure to hold my tongue, literally, if necessary. Anyway, I expect you want to know where and when the remembrance services are taking place. If all goes to plan, Gridonia's Grand Company, the Order of the Twin Adder, will hold the first of the 3 services, and Elder Seed Seer Can Sina will deliver her address at Maya Kaitos Amphitheater. Oh, the amphitheater. I should probably mention at this point that due to the organizational challenges involved in assembling all of the involved parties, it's possible that the order of these services might change. Still, there's not much we can do about that. So, make Gridonia your first port of call. Next, you'll need to go to Ada, where Flame General Rubihan will be addressing the masses at the Royal Promenade. Oh, and it's rumored there's to be a special guest. How exciting. Least, but not last, you must make your way to the state room in Lomensa, where the Maelstrom Chief Admiral will be giving her address. The room is accessible via the Admiral's lift. Identify yourself to the sentry, and he will admit you. Got all that? Well, off you go then. I hope you find the remembrance services suitably educational. I suggest visiting the city-states in my subscribed order, though with your record of impeccable timing and luck, the schedule may well change in favor of your preferred travel plans. Very well. Farewell. Alright. We have 3 places to be. And no particular order we need to take them in. So, eeny, meeny, miny, boop. Let's do Gridonia first. There we go. Alright. To the amphitheater. Destination.
I lost my son to the calamity.
3 seed seers are all together.
Some say you couldn't take a step without stumbling over a body. Our forebears were once strangers in the Twelveswood. Fearful of the green wrath, they hid themselves in the dark recesses of the earth. Yet they dreamed of basking in the dappled sunlight of the forest. Through great effort, they proved their worth to the elementals, and were granted a place beneath the boughs. So it was that Gridania was born, some 5 centuries ago. Working hand in hand, the Hyur and the Elysian settlers sowed the seeds of our civilization, and soon they were joined by folk of all races. So nourished by the waters of unity, and blessed by the light of the matron, Gridania flourished into the great nation it is today.
Do you see the Gridanian standard? There, hanging behind the Elder Seedseer. The entwined serpents represent the unity between Hyur and Elezen. An elegant symbol, do you not agree?
In accordance with the will of the elementals, we have embraced a life of peace. Alas, our neighbors have not always sought the same for themselves, nor for us. Though we Gridanians have no love for war, we have still less for those who would threaten our way of life. Ever have we fought to protect the sanctity of the Twelveswood. When the Garlean Empire brought its war of conquest to Eorzea, we rallied under the noble standard of the Twin Adder that we might push back the encroaching darkness. And it was we who prepared the ground for the reformation of the Eorzean Alliance, that all the peoples of this realm might stand united against the common threat. "5 years ago, the Alliance met the armies of the Empire upon the fields of Cartano. It would prove the bloodiest battle in recent memory. Countless Gridanian lives were lost. As Supreme Commander of the Order of the Twin Adder, ever shall I bear the weight of our people's sacrifice. Alas, their loss was not the only tragedy to befall us that day, for soon came the calamity. The scars borne by our forest are a constant reminder of its violence. Our lives have been irrevocably changed, each waking hour a struggle to survive. Driven to desperation, some among us have strayed from the path of righteousness, resorting to banditry, poaching, and other unconscionable deeds. To compound our woes, the Ixal have returned in force, emboldened by our suffering. They test our defenses nigh without cease, and prey upon the vulnerable. So beleaguered from within and without, it is of little wonder that our unity now falters. Dark times are upon us.
Time was a man could walk the high roads without fear.
On this day, 5 years ago, countless Eorzeans laid down their lives that we might behold another dawn. Please join with me in honoring their memory.
And how do you propose to honor the memory of those you cannot remember, pray tell?
The destruction wrought by the calamity was indiscriminate. It dealt death to Eorzean and Garlean alike. Yet while we have labored to rebuild our homes, to rebuild our lives, the Empire has set about raising steel fortresses here in the Twelveswood. Let none be mistaken. The Garleans remain the greatest threat to our survival. If we are to stand against them, we must remember what it is to be united. Our many troubles blind us to the woes of our fellow man. Thence is harmony lost. Yet harmony is the founding principle of Gridania. We are gathered here to honor the fallen. Let them be honored not only in word and thought, but through concerted action. I bid you, join hands with me once more beneath the Twin Adder standard. And together, let us heal the forest's wounds, that our progeny might live in harmony beneath these ancient boughs. For serenity, purity, and sanctity. We must think of the children.
Woods will be done.
It's up to us to protect the
For
forest.
the elementals!
For the raccoons.
If you'll permit me, Alfino. And my sister, Alize, at your service.
Mm.
I saw at a glance that you were a fellow traveler. You might call us students of history, sampling the realm's remembrances in pursuit of enlightenment.
Alphanode says, the Ixal are unquestionably the more troublesome, being of a naturally warlike disposition, and wont to summon their bloodthirsty primal Garuda, I think. The Siths, by contrast, are peaceful in nature, being mischievous rather than malevolent, and have long been on friendly terms with the Gridonians, until recently at least. Alas, they have grown aloof, a change observed at roughly the same time they summoned the primal Ruma. The Gridonians have no love for war, and they consider open conflict a last resort. Though they clash with the Ixal ever more regularly, you may be assured that they do so in self-defense. As for the Siths, they are as yet bound by a peace treaty, though one wonders how long it will be before it is broken. The Twelveswood was grievously wounded during the calamity, leaving Gridonia vulnerable to attack. The people are hopeful that restoring the wood, and thereby the power of the elements, will put an end to their woes. Yet how long will that take? Centuries, I'd wager. Meanwhile, the Ixal will continue their incursions, spurred on by Garuda and her insatiable appetite for destruction. Rather the Gridonians like it or not, sooner or later it will come to an all-out war, and when it does, the Order of the Twin Adder will need all the help it can muster. How valuable might the aid of a capable adventurer prove to them then? Alright. What's that? Oh, no. I don't want to be a leather worker. Okay. Okay. So, let's go to La Mensa. La Mensa. Okay. So we need to see, where do we need to go? Um, yeah. So we need to go. Yeah, that way. Yep, this is the way. Hello, sir. Zenthaniel says, here to attend the remembrance service. Excuse me. Be quick. The Admiral is due to give her address at any moment. Proceed. Yes, I want to go up.
The Garleans are another matter altogether.
So much for our alliance.
It's sunk beyond the seabed.
Brothers and sisters of the sea, hearken unto me. Look upon this, our mighty crimson standard, and tell me your hearts do not swell with pride. Yeah. 700 summers have come and gone since our forefathers first ran aground in this fertile bay. In that time, guided by the Mother of Oceans, Limsa Lominsa has grown from humble fishing village to uncontested ruler of the 5 seas and beyond.
Harr. Uh-oh, it's the twins.
Did you look as the Admiral bid you? It is a rather stirring standard, I must say. The crimson field is meant to signify the blood of fallen crewmates, while the black longship represents a pirate vessel.
When the Garlean Empire marched upon Eorzea, we assembled beneath the Maelstrom standard, and our grand company was reborn. All answered the call, from the Knights of the Barracuda to Hilthier's bloody executioners. And together, we met our would-be conquerors upon the field of Cartano. That day, the world bore witness to the united strength of Limsa Lominsa. I swear to you, no army ever fought harder or with more courage. Yet many of ours did not survive. Join me now in remembering those who fought in the name of freedom and fell. May their souls be returned to the sea.
Freedom. Yes, they have always been rather fond of their freedom. Much as the beast tribes have. Small wonder. Beneath the surface, one would struggle to tell them apart.
It has been 5 long years since the calamity struck. 5 long years of tireless rebuilding. Yet still the wounds of the calamity fester and weep. But when I stand atop the mizzenmast and gaze out upon our battered and broken vessel, I see an undying spirit. Did we not build all this from the wreck of the Galadian all those centuries ago? Shall we not do so again? Yet there are those who would see this ship of ours sink beneath the waves of the restless Rotano. The Sahagin creep ashore seeking blood for their accursed god.
Those fishback
The Sahagin
bastards.
have risen?
While the mines of Ogomoro spew forth kobolds who push ever south, despoiling our lands as they go. These savage beast tribes will be the first waves to crash against our creaking hull. And behind them swells the grim tide of the Garlean Empire. Even now, the Curs fly their flags within our borders. Doubt not, but that they will be upon us ere long. We are well nigh surrounded. Yet there are those among us who would rather turn their swords against their crewmates than our cannons against our foes. How can we hope to repel our many enemies when mutiny breeds below deck? There is but one course left to us. One bearing that will bring us victory over the beast hordes and the Empire both, and see this ship safe to port. We must mend the rift the Calamity has reopened twixt pirate and maelstrom, and stand fast with our adventurer brothers against the coming tempest. Mark ye well, a crew without unity is no crew at all. 'Tis but a mass of drowned men.
That's one way to put it.
To me, then, brothers and sisters of the sea, gather beneath the undying crimson standard, and pledge me your strength, your skill, your wisdom. And with the guidance of the navigator, this great vessel of ours shall ride the waves, till sea swallows all.
Long live the Admiral!
Remove them!
Gather the lads!
Oh, where's me cutlass?
I'll follow ye to the seven hells, Admiral!
Fancy meeting you again.
You're so pompous, Alphanod. Elfinod says, as the Admiral mentioned in her address, Lominsa is plagued by two beast tribes. The first are the fish-like Shahagan, worshippers of the primal Leviathan. The second are the kobolds, who dwell beneath the earth and take the primal Titan for their god. As if the beast tribe's presence weren't troublesome enough, the Garleans have also chosen to erect a fortress right in the Lencian's backyard. And that is to say not of internal strife. As a nation of pirates, there is no end to the blood feuds between the various factions. And while they fight amongst themselves, the Garleans whet their blades and watch. If the Lemencians are to have any hope of withstanding the Empire, they must first resolve their own affairs. Differences must be set aside, and the primal threat dealt with once and for all. To this end, I expect that they will soon take decisive action against the beast tribes. Mark my words, the Maelstrom standard will be drenched a deeper shade of crimson ere long. That a capable adventurer like you would be a valuable addition to their crew is beyond question. Alright. Oorah! And we can port there. Well, I mean, we can port anywhere, but I'm just saying I can return free of charge. Okay. Yes, one night.
Behold, 'tis the Sultana Nanimo herself!
And Reborn as well!
Hark you, souls of flame, drawn to the bosom of the desert, where the fire burns brightest and shall rage forevermore.
Hurrah! Reborn!
Where since antiquity, under the sage and judicious rule of the Ul dynasty, we have wrought sand into gold. Where by the grace and glory of Naldar have our brave sons and daughters flourished and prospered. I speak of Uldar!
Oh, it's these two again.
At the Flame General's back flies the Grand Company's standard.
Who's
In
your
each sigil,
obsession with
The
standards?
golden scales of order balance the jewel of prosperity with the flame of might.
Great and many are the gifts our nation has given the realm. In Eorzea's darkest hour, on the killing fields of Cartano, none spent more in blood and gold than we. Thus was the 7th Imperial Legion laid low.
So that's how it happened. How soon history forgets.
Yet many left our gates, never to return. Let us pray for our absent brothers and sisters, that they might know happiness in the great beyond, as Thal's honored guests. If the fates were fair, the price we paid that day would have bought us victory. Alas, they are not. And now, but 5 years into this 7th Umbral era, the spirit of sacrifice which granted us our strength is all but dead. Look around you. What do you see? A people divided, downtrodden and enthralled. Where are the merciful alms of the rich? Where is the just steel of the righteous? I ask you, is this the great nation our brothers and sisters gave their lives to save? You who call this living, dishonor the name of the immortal flames. It is but a slow death. Our enemies surround us. The savage hordes of the Amalja wait beside our roads, strangling the lifelines of trade. Meanwhile, the Garleans make mock of our borders and despoil our land of its natural wealth. We stand on a precipice, yet we do not act. Whether trader or soldier, monetarist or royalist, all must recognize that a divided Uldar stands to fall. Victory and fortune walk hand in hand. Ye who seek glory and wealth, look not to what little you can snatch from your neighbor, but to the boundless wealth of the world beyond. Now is the time to unite. Now is the time to ride forth. In the name of the Sultana, I beseech you. Line not your own coffers, but those of the immortal flames. Seek not to prosper from Uldar, but to restore her to prosperity. As the realm prospers, so shall Uldar. As Uldar prospers, so shall her people.
Yeah, for Uldar!
Together
Ura! Yay! Yeah.
Your grace.
Reborn? People of Uldar, I, Nanimo, 17th in the line of Ul, address you. Much has been made of the wealth of Uldar. Yet those who measure that wealth in coins and carats are gravely deceived. For the true wealth of Uldar lies in the health, happiness, and hopes of her people. beloved subjects, I bid you raise aloft the torch of Ul'dah, that her flames might serve as a beacon for all Eorzea to see.
Long live Nanamo!
Glory to the Sultana!
For victory and fortune, stride fearless into the Inferno, for we are, by fire, reborn!
Fire. Yay. I don't know who I want to pick.
I fancy meeting you again.
Nah. Oops. Okay. Ulfenshade says the Udolans have a long history of conflict with the Amalja, the beast tribe that worships the primal Ifrit. Judging by your look of distaste, I take it you have encountered them. I know how to say this word. My tongue is just twisting. The Udalians do not shy from confrontation. If aught threatens their precious prosperity, they will seek to crush it. So, have they dwelt with Ifrit thus far? Smothering his flames each time he is stoked to life. Yet he is but one of several problems. Though they have been quiet these past 5 years, the Garleans have not gone away. Meanwhile, refugees continue to arrive in droves, and Ul'dah has no clear policy on how to deal with them. After all, not even the Sultanate's coffers are bottomless, and even assuming they had the coin, resources will ever be finite. Which brings me back to the subject of Ifrit. It has been observed that the Amalja are summoning him with ever increasing frequency. Every time they do so, the Udalians ascend their forces to smite the primal, and though they invariably succeed, each victory is bought with blood. It is a war of attrition which they cannot well sustain. Small wonder, then, that the immortal flames are eager to recruit more members. At such a desperate hour, an adventurer of your experience would be a most welcome addition to their ranks. For their sake, I hope that the Flame General's words strike a chord with you. Does Alice say speak at all? Menphilia says by Link Pearl, Nyra, this is Menphilia. You are well, I hope. Would I be correct in thinking that the final remembrance service has now concluded? A moment ago, you say. What a coincidence. Jesting aside, I trust you remember our guests from the Grand Companies. Well, delighted though we are to have them here at the Waking Sands, it would not do to keep them in suspense any longer than necessary. In short, hurry back. Alright. Well, you know what? I think I'll leave that for tomorrow, and yeah. We'll see y'all later tomorrow at the scheduled time, and we'll decide on which Grand Company we will be joining at that time. So until then, y'all have a good one.